Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is David Rodgers with On the Spot, right along with Mr. Byron Bagwell, Mr. Mitchell Gunner behind the camera. We got Mr. Dave Holland over here producing, and we got Austin Stevens here, our weather guy, along with Mr. John Probst. Right now we're having technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen, and unfortunately tonight we will not be able to do the show, but the crew will be back Saturday night, hopefully right here from the fairgrounds. If not, we will be doing it from the EOC building. So, guys, I really apologize. I know y'all was looking for a great show tonight, but it is what it is. Can't control technical difficulties, so we'll be back with you Saturday night. Mitchell, Byron, anything to say real quick?
Keep on rolling. Keep on rolling.
So, anyway, here at the Bradford County Fairgrounds, like I said, right here in the parking lot. Again, my name is David Rodgers with On the Spot, and it's looking really good, huh, Mitchell, right now? So, hey, let's roll with this for a minute. So, hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to On the Spot with David Rodgers, a live Facebook interactive show where you, the viewer, has total input on topics of discussion regarding any subject. That includes commenting, talking, or debating, not with just your host, but with each other, you, the viewers. You control and run this show. We are just the rudder that steers this big old vessel. This is the show that is wide open with no limits as we bring it to you first. We discuss news, politics, and business, sports, and other things pertinent to our community, including Stark, Lake Butler, Keystone Heights, Waldo, Melrose, Brooker, Middleburg, Lake City, Lulu, where your relative lives, and in the entire regional area. We will also talk about happenings in the great state of Florida and South Georgia as we talk about state news, politics, and sports, and also delve into news and current events going on in our great nation and the world today that affect our everyday lives. Now, let me introduce the show team, the guys that make it all happen. Bring it the move to the groove. First, behind the controls with the video and audio is our senior producer, Mr. Command and Control, the big dog, our executive producer, Super Daredevil Holland. And joining him behind the scenes, keeping the flow of the show, is our director and our marketing guru and the PR man, John, better than Snopes Probst.
What's up, everybody?
There you go. Our sports production assistant and missing in action, Roger the Tornado Cruz. Our man with all things weather, Austin Storm Chaser Stevens. Say hello, Austin.
Good evening, everyone.
And now my co-host for this evening with local and news and breaking information, Mitchell, the American Scout, and your lookout on terrorism and anything else that does not belong or looks out of place, Gunter.
And your cameraman for tonight.
And the cameraman for tonight. And away from us tonight, no, he's not. He's right here. He's our historian, our governmental whiz on national and world politics, Byron, fighting to help keep your freedom and rights Bagwell. Say hello, Byron.
Good evening, infidels.
Good grief. I'm your host, Mr. David Rodgers, the voice of the Bradford High Tornadoes, and
show pony.
Welcome to the show. We're coming to you live from the Bradford County Fairgrounds. Bradford County Fair, and right now, guys, ladies and gentlemen, it is a packed house in there. Have you walked around in there, Byron, and seen what was going on?
There's a bunch of people here.
We got a bunch of people. Mitchell, you seen a bunch of people as
well?
Oh,
definitely.
And I tell you, we were looking to have a great show tonight. We still are. We're going to do a little bit of something here. We're having technical difficulties. That's why we couldn't come to you from the sheriff's office, or the sheriff's booth, should I say. So we're out here in the middle of the parking lot, Mitchell, where you stuck me.
That's right.
How about that? As the cameraman, you stuck me out here.
Hey, I can't help it.
Hey, this is where we're getting the reception,
That's it.
right?
That's
well,
it.
For your efforts, your great-great-great-grandfather tonight is none other than
Cory Booker.
Close.
Cory Booker.
Gee, boy, that's not even right. I can't even go there with that. But actually, we found out it's your cousin. A female cousin. AOC. How about that?
Brother.
Lord.
Do you want my knife? That's all I can ask.
Just a reminder about our new format to make sure you, the viewer, gets your chance to interact. That's right, folks. We have the all-new ADO, audience-driven overtime. That's right, our new format gives everyone equal opportunity in each segment, but when we hit a topic near and dear to your heart and you want to address it, we go into ADO, audience-driven overtime, so you get your say. But now it's time to kick off the show with our prayer, our pledge of allegiance, and a patriotic quote of the week from Mr. Byron Bagwell and his great-great-great-grandfather, grandmother sometimes, or uncles.
Grandmother.
Well, yeah, you did read something from Betsy Ross, haven't you, before?
Margaret Thatcher.
Oh, Margaret Thatcher. That's your grandmother.
I'll take that.
Yeah, that's your
The elder
grandmother.
lady, yes,
Our
sir.
fantastic sponsors tonight: Miracle Automotive and Recovery, and Stark and McClinney, Williams Jewelry of Stark, Harry Business Salon, On the Spot Lawn Maintenance, Brittany Leanne Creations in Melrose, Photography and Graphic Design, Service First Mobile Small Engine Repair in McRae, and
There's more.
Schuster and Sabin.
Schuster and Sabin
Law
Law Firm out
firm.
of Jacksonville.
Yep. www.piplaw.com if you need somebody. We got
also
our
have
dentistry.
North Jacksonville Complete Dentistry.
Yeah.
Call Dan Baxter at 904-759-4958.
There you go.
Mention on the spot and get 10% off.
Right.
We also have Mike Qualls
Yep.
with Lazy
Q
Q
Productions.
We have Lazy Q Productions now.
Yep.
We also have
Our newest one.
our newest sponsor is going to be Karen's Housekeeping
Yep.
out of Stark. She works in Stark, Gainesville,
Right.
Jacksonville, Orange Park.
That's right.
So Karen's Housekeeping, we've got all her information on the page as well. She does a great job. She cleans my house.
And you can also catch all this information on the Spot with David Rodgers, and you can email Mr. John Probst or the show on the spot 32091 at gmail.com. That's on the spot 32091 at gmail.com. All right, let's kick off the show right here. Let's go ahead and do our prayer, our pledge, and the reading of your great grandfather. Let's bow our heads, please. Our righteous Heavenly Father, let us once thank again for a wonderful and glorious day, dear Lord. Thank you for this time that you've given us to be with all our people here, dear Lord, in our community, here at the Bradford County Fairgrounds. Bless and protect each and everybody that's here, dear Lord, and make their lives a lot better, as we know you can do. Thank you for the food that we receive each and every day that gives us the nourishment of our bodies and our bodies to thy service. Any spoken or unspoken prayer requests, dear Lord, please touch those hearts, dear Lord. You know their wants and their needs, and you're the one that can bring it to them, dear Lord. Let us also pray for the people that are in Tennessee, dear Lord, tonight, as most of them has lost everything, their homes and everything that they have, but they still got their lives, dear Lord, and we can rebuild homes. We can replace cars, but you spared their lives, dear Lord. How about the ones that did lose their lives, dear Lord, the 23 people, or actually the 25 people now, dear Lord, that you just pray for their families and that you help their families out. Again, thank you for everything that you do for us, and we ask for these things in your Son's name, Jesus Christ. And the congregation says, Amen.
Amen.
All right, let's stand for the pledge. Mr. Bagwell, how about the honors?
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Mr. Bagwell, what do you have for us tonight there?
Well, I'm gonna change up just a little bit.
Okay.
And I'm changing up just a little bit tonight
Okay.
because I listened to a politician earlier today,
Right.
or last night, one of the two, butcher this, and I
Right.
figured that Thomas Jefferson deserved a little bit more than what a certain quid pro quo Joe gave him.
Right.
So we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted amongst men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed.
That's a great piece of statement, and I know where that came from, Mr. Bagwell. Would you like to tell everybody where that came from?
Come from the Declaration of Independence, the preamble of the Declaration of Independence.
That's a great topic here. So great quote there, Mr. Bagwell. Again, this is David Rodgers with On the Spot with David Rodgers. We're live here at the Bradford County Fairgrounds. To my right, we've got our local guru, Mr. Mitchell Gunner. To my left, we got the historian, the guy fighting for your rights and your freedoms. Who is that? Mr. Byron Bagwell, along with your host, Mr. David Rodgers. And who is he?
The show.
Show Pony.
Yeah, we've got Mr. Austin Stevens, all weather. We got Mr. Dave Holland holding the camera up there for us. So, guys, want to get into a couple of things as we get the night going. I don't know how long we'll have, but we're going to keep going as long as we can, that's for sure. So I'm going to start off with Mr. Austin Stevens. Welcome in. Give us a fine weather report. I'd like you to start off first with our local, and then why don't you hit that regional all the way over to Pascagoula, Mississippi, baby.
All right. Last night, yes, the tornado system that we had up north, it is not going to affect us. But however, I did put out an announcement that we could have a risk of all types of severe weather, including tornadoes Thursday. It's a weather alert day. So be on the lookout. You can follow us weather service on www.facebook.com/Austin Weather Service. Now the forecast for North Florida, Northeast Florida, and North Central Florida. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Lows 63 to 67. Now tomorrow, it will hit 84 to 90 with a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms. It will be roaring out of the south at 15 to 30 miles an hour. And tomorrow night, temperature will drop down to 64 to 68, and temperature will rise up to 81 to 87 with possible severe weather Thursday afternoon. Now to Pascagoula, Mississippi, they are going to get waterlogged. Thunderstorms through Thursday afternoon. Peak temperatures anywhere between 70 to 75 during the day, and mild 55 to 65 overnight with a cold weather system by the weekend.
Wow.
For all areas.
That's all areas. That's Pascagoula to Mobile to Pensacola, and right in that area right there, Austin.
All the way back to us.
All the way back to us. Okay, so that will include Tallahassee, the home of the Seminoles, your favorite football team.
Yeah, that may be how that fossil was dug up we were talking about earlier, too.
Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about that fossil.
My favorite football team. Now, come on.
Yes, it is. Now, you are a closet guy. You told us that you love the Florida State Seminoles. You're telling everybody else you love the Gators.
He did say that he loved the Florida State Seminoles.
Yes, he did.
He loved to watch them lose.
Oh, really?
Mitchell?
Mitchell.
You want to find a special assignment?
Mitchell, better yet, Mitchell. Who pulled your flush chain?
Oh, God!
It's getting deep.
Oh, my goodness. Yes, it is. This show's going off the rails.
My phone case says it all.
Yeah, who'd you get that from? Dave Holland?
No.
Oh, okay.
My
He is
mother.
the true. Your mother?
Yeah.
She a Gator fan?
She got it for me for Christmas.
Oh, good grief. All right.
You better watch out.
She
She's
just
here.
picked up the wrong case. What happened is they didn't have no Seminole cases, so they gave you a Gator case.
Yeah.
Yeah, all
That's
right.
what they all say.
That's exactly right. Well, again, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, on the spot with David Rodgers. We're live here at the Bradford County Fairgrounds. We're actually in front of Building 1. A nice crowd out here, as you can see in the parking lot. Dave, if you can swing the phone around a little bit there, get it off of our beautiful faces for a moment. You can see a lot of people still coming up. The parking lots are full.
There's a Miss Florida there.
Yeah, we got Miss Florida. Yeah, hello there. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
All right. You doing all right? Say hello. Say hello. You're live on the spot with David Rodgers. Say hello. What's your name?
Hi, my name's Sakaya. I'm here, Pure Internationals Team Florida.
All right.
Working with the alumni booth,
Come on
Bradford
in.
FFA alumni. Me and Blake, we graduated last year, and FFA was such a huge part of our lives, so we're back trying to get back to some of the kids have the same opportunities that we did.
That's great.
Awesome.
What's your name?
My name's Sakaya Davis. Yeah.
All right, Takaya, say hello, everybody. There you go. Thank you, Takaya.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Miss Florida stopping. Look at that. Miss Team Florida stopping by. I tell you what. Look who else is here. Come on up in here. No, you can't slip by. You know who this is? This is Elizabeth Tillman right here. Say hello to everybody.
Hey guys, how are you on Facebook?
How are you on Facebook? Tell them, hey, the Telegraph, right? We got the Telegraph being sold too, right?
Yeah, well,
Starting
not.
tomorrow.
What do you mean being sold?
Well, we're going to, Eddie's out there selling
Oh, yeah.
them. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
hits the stands tomorrow evening, and Eddie will be down on the streets tomorrow and Thursday.
And Thursday. That's
Hustling.
right.
Last Friday was his birthday, and we had the balloons go down because the weather, it wilted. So wish him a belated happy birthday if you don't mind.
Hey, to
Happy
you, sir. I
birthday.
tell you what a great guy.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's been hustling those papers for a long time, and I remember when he worked over at the Western Steer and was helping Harry and those guys out. Did a great job. Hard worker. He will work for his money. I can tell you that. Eddie, happy birthday from here, from us, the crew right here. So anyway, let's get into some stuff right here, Mitchell. Let's start off with some local stuff. You got some local stuff that you want to talk about?
We actually got some events that are coming up pretty soon. You know, April is going to be a very busy month, especially in the beginning. We're going to have Shoot with the Sheriff on April the 3rd on that Friday. Then following on April the 4th is the cruise in and celebration for Downtown Stark 150 years.
What?
And then that Sunday, we're going to do a car show with the Strawberry Festival on April the 5th. But hey, guess what?
What?
The Strawberry Festival actually starts on April the 4th through the 5th. So a lot of things happen during that weekend.
Right.
It's going to be fun. You know, I joked around with the sheriff again a little bit tonight.
Can we bring the dragon out?
No, we cannot bring no rifles.
Well, what
Darn.
fun is this shoot?
Got to use a 12 gauge or a 20
All right,
gauge.
I guess.
I might try to talk him in and let me bring my 16 gauge.
Oh, really?
Yeah, side by side.
Okay. All right. Good.
They're
So,
hard to
hey,
find nowadays.
Just put up your AK that you thought you bringing.
Yeah.
It's all right. I'll just bring my I'll just bring the weather shotgun. I'll be happy.
All right.
Remember, Mother
But,
Nature may rain on that party, but all right.
A lot of great
Oh,
things,
boy.
like as you mentioned, you know, tonight was the opening of the Midway, and it will run through the 8th. You can buy your bands, the rod rides ahead of time if you don't want to come in here tonight and participate on the Midway. You can come on in and buy your bands for Saturday or Sunday. And you know, and next weekend, guess what happens?
What happens?
The Gator Nationals.
Nationals. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Actually, this
Yeah.
weekend racing starts at Gainesville Raceway with the Lucas Oil Series.
Right.
They always call that series the Baby Gators.
Right.
There's one gentleman in particular that I follow and a real good friend of, and that's Josh Hart. He races alcohol dragster, and he is actually going to turn around after running this weekend alcohol dragster. He's also going to run alcohol dragster at the Gator Nationals and step into a top fuel car for, let me think of his name real quick. And
I would have helped you with this, but I don't know who's
Bob
stepping in for-
Vandergrift.
Okay.
Bob Vandergrift Racing. He's going to step into their top fuel car, and he's been making passes. He was making passes last week and having a lot of success. And he says, "Whew, it's fast.
Oh,
It's
I can
way
imagine.
faster than an alcohol car." So you're looking at a difference of almost 2 seconds in elapsed time
Wow.
between the alcohol dragster and the top fuel dragster.
Right. Wow.
So, and you know, we're talking about 18,000 horsepower. These nitro machines, both the funny car and top fuel have. And guess what else happens during this Gator Nationals? It is the 50th anniversary of Pro Stock.
Hello.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So Pro Stock has been around for 50 years.
Right.
And you know, you can step back in time and you can think of all the greats of Bob Glidden, Warren Johnson, Grumpy Jenkins. You know, the list goes on and on
Yep.
of these guys that are true pioneers of making Pro Stock what it is. And I'm telling you, Pro Stock car is one of the closest classes that you will ever see. You can have 1 through 16, and they will be within probably 2 or 3 tenths of each other at some races. And so it makes it very competitive. And Pro Stock motorcycles the same way.
Right.
It's very competitive. And and that's what I like to see. But all that's happening this month and next month. And I'll tell you, if you want more details on Shooting with the Sheriff, that
Yeah.
happens on April 3rd.
Right.
You can call the Sheriff's office. They can tell you how to pre-register, or if you just want information in general to go out there and watch.
You can catch it on our page too as
That's
well.
correct.
You catch it on our page on the spot with David Rodgers, and also you can email us on the spot 32091@gmail.com. Let me tell you, that's how Lucy Davis came to watch the show last Saturday night. She emailed John Probst and actually on the spot with David Rodgers on the spot 32091@gmail.com. She says, "Hey, I would like to meet the crew." Hey, Michael Heater responds, said, "Hey, come on to the show," and that's how she got in. We had Mr. Dwight Allen with us as well. Mr. Dwight Allen is one of our longtime listeners and viewers. He comes quite a bit live. If you want to come out and watch one of these events live, Mitchell, tell them how to do it.
Email us.
Email us at on the spot 32091@gmail.com,
That's
right?
right. That's
Or
it.
message us.
That's
Right,
right.
yeah, and then we'll get
instant message me on my
Yeah.
personal Facebook page, or Byron, or
any
you,
of us.
or Dave.
Holland,
Michael
Austin
Heater,
Stevens, all of
John
us.
Brooks.
Glad to get you
Yeah.
in here with us.
Absolutely.
We have a
We
good
want
time.
that. We have a good time with
We
that.
have a good
You
time.
can message us as Western and Michael Heater will see it.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's right.
that's true. That is very true. So, yep, you can catch Austin's weather report as well. So, again, on the spot with David Rodgers, live here at the Bradford County Fairgrounds. What a beautiful night, man,
Oh,
it
it
is,
is.
guys,
It is.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Seeing a lot of people that we know. Man, it's a hello from everybody, and it's great, man. Like you said, the Midway's open. Everything's kicking out on the Midway. I actually had a spot with Chuck Kramer earlier tonight about 6:35. We got on the radio, talked about the show a little bit, talked a little bit about tornado football, but I'll be on with him each and every day up until Saturday. I won't be on the show Saturday, gentlemen. So y'all two guys are going to take off and hold down the fort while I go do my thing as I did.
We either
DJ
going to
wedding.
hold it down, or we're going to catch it on fire.
Fire,
one.
burn it down.
Well,
Yeah.
that's fine too. Well, hey, if
Hey,
y'all do
but I
that
know a
and you get ready,
firefighter. I know a volunteer fireman.
make sure he's around.
that can help put out the fire.
Well, make sure he's around. Can you
Well,
make
yeah.
sure he's around?
Yeah, we just called Michael Heater
All right,
up and
that'll
said,
work.
hey,
Yeah.
we might burn this thing down. We need you to stand by.
There you go. So stand by with it. But anyway, y'all two guys will be doing the show. Not sure if it's going to be from here just because of the technical difficulties and the way we're having to do things, or if it's going to be at the OC. But we'll let people know so you can catch it when we put it on the page or when we put it out there on a Facebook message. So make sure you tune in for that next show.
Well, to go ahead and talk about something that's very near and dear to my heart, if you have children that's in the school system and they have 504s or IEPs, I would like y'all to come out to the Bradford County School Board meeting next Monday at 6 p.m. This is nothing toward our school board whatsoever. A lot of this stuff is made up by federal laws and passed on down to the state. But I wanted to get up and speak on the behalf of the children in our school system that do have those IEPs and 504s in place. And I don't think we're quite to the point where we're giving those children what they need. And sometimes, you know, our school systems feel like their hands are tied behind their back.
Right.
So I want to be an advocate and start talking to people up in Tallahassee and also up in the federal government and see what I can do. Because right now, in most cases, we have people that come in and work with the kids, and they only get a 30-minute session a week, depending, and sometimes more, it's just
Right.
depending on what's going on. But those 30 minutes a week is just not quite, you know, enough, in my opinion, to
Right.
actually help them. And we want them to be just as successful as every other student. You know, every child learns differently,
Right.
and but some still lack, and we want to make sure we put an emphasis on their education. We want them to be just successful as everyone else, and that's why I want to become an advocate for our kids, not just for our kids here in Bradford County in general,
Everywhere.
but for our kids in the state of Florida,
Right.
and even on across the United States,
Right.
because you know the Fed hands down all this stuff,
Right.
and you know I like a challenge.
Of course you do.
I don't back away from a challenge, and I will keep on knocking on doors and making the telephones ring until someone either
So you don't mind
opens the
fighting-
door or picks up a telephone and listens.
So you don't mind fighting the federal government then?
Not at all.
Not at all. Look at it. You said not at all.
It's
That's-
my government.
That's right.
That's my
Hey,
government, not
Do,
theirs.
do you work for them or do they work for you?
They work for me.
Good. That's good. Do they work for you or you work for them?
You know my answer to that. They work for me.
They work for us, right, Dave?
Right.
Speaking, give Mr. Dave Holland a big round of applause. He's back there
5%.
doing the camera, holding the phone there for us. I know that
5%
takes
left.
a little bit of time and
Let them
steadiness.
know.
I'll tell you, if I was holding it, it'd be going like this.
All right, well, I won't go ahead and let you know so we can go on through, but I think
Yeah.
my phone's getting pretty low on the battery because I wasn't expecting
Yeah.
this to happen.
That's okay.
So we've probably got about a good 5 or 10 minutes left.
Yeah, sure.
And but I wanted to talk about that a little bit, and I would like to encourage the parents to come out and listen to me speak. And one of those things is children with dyslexia.
Yep.
In our school system, actually across the United States, 5 to 8% of the children have dyslexia. Now, actually, only probably 45% of those children get noticed for having it, because it actually takes parent involvement with their children.
Sure they do.
To actually find out and try to put everything together.
A lot of them that have milder cases of dyslexia, what they'll do is they'll compensate for it when they're looking at that stuff.
Right.
And once they start to understand words, what they mean, they look at it even though it's not it's backwards.
Right. It's totally different the way we view it.
They actually go, that's not how this is supposed to be. This is how it's supposed to read, and they'll read it like that. And if they're quick enough, they actually get away with it without being diagnosed for a very long time because of their ability to.
They memorize it. They memorize a lot of it. So you teach it. You read over the book several times, and then you suddenly, when they turn the page, they know where to stop when the next page turns because they've memorized the whole page. One of the things I want to step into and make sure that we're doing it. If not, if we can start getting someone who does grant writing, we need audio, video books for those children to follow along with. That way they understand what's going on and how the words look to them and what the word's supposed to be. And that's basically what you have to do,
Right.
to get them to understand it. And there's someone who actually does have dyslexia, and he is a very good writer.
Which one?
You know who that is?
Which one?
Name one.
Rush Limbaugh's one.
Rush Limbaugh.
Rush Limbaugh's one.
Yeah,
There's
Rush
one of them.
Limbaugh.
Yeah.
And you're talking about writers? You're talking
A
about
writer.
You're
He
talking,
wrote a lot of books.
you're talking about Stephen King.
Yes,
Yes,
that's right.
Stephen King.
Stephen
yeah.
King has dyslexia.
Yeah.
And there, it doesn't mean there's nothing wrong with there's anything wrong with your child. It's just the way their eyes and their brain sees things
yes.
a little bit differently than what we do.
The connection between what they're seeing and what their brain actually translates
Correct.
is that there's a misfire in between the eyes and the
Right.
brain. Is what goes on with that.
Right. So I'm going to be an advocate and try to do whatever I can to make sure that we have the tools in place. And if you're a parent out there and your child has something totally different and you don't think they're getting the right tools, please approach me. You can write me on instant message. It'll be all confidential. Your name will not be given out, and especially not your child's name will be given out. And we'll try to find out what we can do to improve that in our school system.
What a lot of people with dyslexia do is they become audio
Learners.
Right.
Yes.
They learn through listening. That's
Correct.
what they do.
Rush Limbaugh learned that way. Did you know that?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Rush Limbaugh learned that way. Yes.
One of the things they teach you when you're in college to become a teacher is the different ways people learn.
Right.
Right.
And that is definitely one of them. That is definitely one of them. So basically, you learn as a teacher how to teach kids different ways.
Hang on just a second, Mark. Yes, Mr. Trump, how you doing? Yes, sir. We're on. Yes, sir. You tuning in? Yes, sir. Not a problem. How's President Trump? He's tuning into the show.
Well,
I
good.
wish you had held on for a second because I wanted to tell him something.
What do you want to tell him?
I wanted to tell him to keep on doing what he was doing with the coronavirus and tell those fools to quit politicizing that disease, is killing people. That's what I wanted to tell him.
I'd like to tell him how much of a good president he is.
Well, I'll get him back on the bat line, okay, here after a while.
Get him on the bat line.
I'll get him on the bat line
because
later on.
That disturbs me greatly that anybody would use something that's killing American citizens as a political tool. It just disturbs me. So
Yeah, well, you got to remember where this all started from. But we'll get into that later. Anyway, so what else you got, Mitchell?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and cut it there so y'all can go ahead and get a few things in. And
Alright.
while you're getting some few things in, did you want me to try to grab some potential candidates real quick?
Yeah,
And try to get
just
them on?
real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that. Mitchell Gunner's going to go get us some local candidates right here. Byron, I'll tell you what. I know you had a couple of things that you wanted to discuss. Maybe we can table a lot of it over until Saturday. You'll have plenty of time.
I wanted to say that today was Super Tuesday. And
Yes,
there
it was.
18 states in
Yep.
their primaries for the
Yep.
Democrats and the Republicans.
Right.
If you're in one of those states, go vote. The polls.
Thank you.
The polls are probably open in a lot of them. Some of them they might be closed by now in the Eastern time zone.
In the Eastern time zone, but in the Midwest and West is still,
they're still open. So please go vote for whoever you choose to vote for. And here's the other thing. There's a lot of people talking about doing this. A lot of states that have open primaries.
Right.
Which is, to me, is a joke.
Right.
Because that means if I want to, and I'm a Republican, I could go in an open primary and go vote for a Democrat.
That's right.
And the reason that that's nonsense to me is if I go and vote for somebody that I want running against a Republican nominee because I know that Republican nominee is going to beat that person,
right?
That's a little bit dishonest to me. There should be no such thing as an open primary, but unfortunately there is.
Yeah. And that's just the way that it is. But I think what Byron's trying to say is get up off your tail.
Go
if
vote.
you want to make a difference,
go vote.
Whatever party that you're voting for, please go vote. That is your right as an American citizen. That's your right as a U.S. citizen to go vote. You should take full advantage of that because I hear a lot of people say this, Byron. Well, my candidate didn't win. My next question is, did you vote? No. Then why are you talking to me? Why didn't you go vote, man? Oh, then you hear this. Oh, my vote wouldn't have made a difference.
May have. There have been some elections that have been really close. Okay, there's 4 candidates left on the Democrat Party side.
Yes.
That would be Joe Biden.
Yep.
Bernie Sanders. No, Bernie Sanders.
Oh, sorry.
Bernie the Red.
Yeah.
Bernie Sanders. Elizabeth Warren. And you know who the other one is?
Buttigieg still in?
Buttigieg is out.
Okay.
The other person that is still in is the billionaire. It's Bloomberg. So you have 4 choices for your candidate. And on the Republican side, from my understanding today, there's only one left. And that is Mr. Donald Trump. So you can still go vote in the primaries, but you're only going to have one choice left if you're a Republican. With my understanding, the other 2 people dropped out.
Hey, look who's joined us, Mr. Bagwell. Hey, our great Sarah Gordon Smith. Say hello to everybody.
Hey, hello out there. I'm telling you, on the spot fans, I'm telling you, it's a great time. Great opening for opening night of the county fair.
What about the weather here, man? My God.
Hey, I dialed this. Got a connection. Yeah,
straight there.
God and I got a connection. I got a straight. I don't need a mediator.
Yeah.
God and I got a straight connection.
Straight connection.
And if elected, I promise.
That's it.
The Alvarezes are here with us.
And when your in-laws show up, man, you know it's
all good,
knows
man.
you,
I'll
man?
tell you what. This is a great
That was
time.
coming from the preacher, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, it was, wasn't it?
I had that set up to happen like that.
Did you play that?
No.
Oh.
I've seen the picture of you. Great profile pic, man. You look like Sonny Crockett from Miami Vice in that.
Back in my young, sexy days.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Hey, I wasn't always old and fat now.
Me neither.
You know, I had my moments.
I had my moments, dude.
I still got a rodeo or 2 left.
Me too.
Don't let the old age fool you.
That's it.
I remember those days.
I remember that.
Not anymore.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you, that's one of the best cups of coffee I've had in a while, right here at the county fair.
I hear at the county fair.
Yeah, the ladies, I'm telling you, go and see the little pink ladies auxiliary. Man, that's a fine cup of coffee, I might add.
I'll tell you what, that's a good cup of coffee. That's great. So, hey, tell us what's going on in the community. Anything that we need to watch out for, be on the lookout for?
Right now in the community, right now the big thing is scams.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of scams again. The IRS, it's that time of year, so we're getting this IRS scam. People, do not give your Social Security to nobody.
Amen.
It doesn't work that way. If you owe the IRS money, I promise you, they're going to send you that little white envelope in the mail. Internal Revenue. I just got one in, by the way. So Uncle Sam loves me. He always reminds me every year.
He loves
me
too.
He's gonna do that.
Yeah. So you look at it. Do not give somebody your stuff over the phone. You're not calling them to call the IRS, the number they give you on that sheet, with your number and stuff you need to have. It's a bureaucracy. Do not give them that. So it's something to be mindful of. The scams there, and if people call you and tell you that your Social Security number's been stolen, nobody can steal your Social Security. They can't steal your fingerprints either. Uncle Sam going to track you. Yep. So do not give anybody your Social Security number. Don't believe any of that kind of stuff they're hearing tonight. Be mindful of scams. If it's too good to be true, it is. And before you do it, call us. Y'all, it's a phone call.
It's a phone call.
Call the sheriff. You're not. Nobody's gonna laugh at you because we deal with it every day in a small county. We know you. We love you. I've been a victim where they try to get me.
Sure.
You're looking. They're calling scam calls all the time. Don't do it.
I had them call 2 years ago about exactly what they're talking about. Said that I owed the IRS money. Said the local sheriff had a warrant for my arrest.
I hear that almost daily.
And I thought that I didn't answer the phone call and I let it just play out. And I thought, you know what? I called it back, and the lady answered, and I said, you know, it's awful mighty interesting. I've known the sheriff since I was a kid. And I believe if I had a warrant out for my arrest,
I believe the sheriff would have
I
known
believe
the
the sheriff would have been at my door already going, Byron, what is going
Well,
on?
Byron, I had the same thing to me, and I told him, I said, look here, it's steak night down at the jail, so hey, tell the sheriff come on down and get me. And they're like, sir, this is serious. I said, I'm serious. It's steak night down at the jail. We're serving steak. And of course, he didn't know he was talking to me.
Talking to
to you,
sheriff.
talking to
I'll
sheriff.
tell you
That's
another
right.
one. We got hit with it here about 7-8 months ago about not showing up for jury summons. We don't put you in jail for not.
Right.
The clerk and I actually got together. The clerk put out something in the paper. We have not been hit with it lately, but it's hitting the counties next to us again. So be mindful. If you miss a jury summons, the first thing you get is a order to show call by the judge. We don't issue a warrant.
Right.
And I'm telling you, I've been going on 34 years now in this county. I've never went and picked anybody up for not showing up for jury summons. Because most people that get them are responsible. They call, they pass it on. They know the clerk, they know the sheriff, and we work with people because people have situations they can't judge their understanding. We're not going to come grab you up and put you in, and don't send no money on a green card or a eBay card to pay. We're working so many scams and different. These people got all day long to figure out how to rob you and steal your money.
Right.
And that's a big issue. But you know, that's something. And I'm telling you, if you got something exciting, if you believe in your Second Amendment, I'm a big, I'll tell you, big defender of the Second Amendment. Right?
On the spot with David Rodgers is as well.
The Second Amendment is there to protect you all the other amendments. That's what they're there for. Protect you. So here coming up on April 3rd, we have Shoot with the Sheriff. Not Shoot the Sheriff. People get that confused.
Well, we were talking about that.
It's Shoot with the Sheriff. Can't bring your machine gun or nothing.
I can't bring my.
No, it's shotgun, 12 gauge. It's got to be birdshot.
Okay.
It's tough competition, but you'll have numerous sheriffs from surrounding counties that get together. And every dime we raise, $100 to shoot, $1 a team.
Right.
It's a great time, good socializing, meet good people defending the same right we have. It's more fun than golf. Now I know you golfers out there. I'm not a good golfer. I love golf. I'm just not good at it.
So you strike the ball. All right.
I think I'm a fisherman the way I hook, you know. That ball.
But you play that hook really well, man. It lands in the center.
Somebody else has got that duck hook.
That's you too.
So,
that's Donald Hardy.
Donald Hardy, yeah. But you come out and shoot with us, I'm telling you, at every dollar. This isn't a charity, a national charity where a bunch of it's going to some CEO that's going to people you don't know. Right. Every dollar, when the money's collected that day, the charities are chosen, and every dollar, every penny goes to a local charity.
Great. That's great.
Whether it be girls softball, whether it be we give it to the athletic, whether it be the drama club, we give some to drama teams, we've given some to the explorers, the local Boy Scouts. I give to local Boy Scouts.
Right.
In regards to it, every dime that goes back to local answers is a big one we like to give to our local child protection team. That's what every dollar goes to. So there's no proceeds that go to pay any administrative fees. Whatever's collected that day goes to charity.
All right, now let me ask you something, Sheriff. We're trying to do the same thing. I know you watched the show the last few weeks. I don't know if Lisa has. I know I've seen her pop on there. By the way, this is Lisa Rodgers right here. Lisa, I think we're third cousins. I really do. I think so.
Well, this is Bradford County.
So I think we're third cousins somewhere down the road there. We're gonna really research that to see. Yeah. You want to start digging in that family tree?
Well,
I need y'all's help.
My tree ain't got many.
It could be fourth. Okay.
My tree ain't got many branches. We got deep roots here in Bradford County. I promise. Not many branches. We got deep roots. Deep roots.
State tree in Alabama. You know what that is?
State tree in Alabama.
Yes, sir. The telephone pole. But anyway, no, I'm only kidding. I love the people of Alabama because I lived over that way, so I love those guys. I need y'all's help on something.
What you need? Tell us.
All right, we're doing a March Madness bracket. $10 a piece. All the money that's raised, I need y'all to help me push it. All the money that's raised, we're going to give half to the food pantry.
They need it. Very good.
Yep, and we're going to give half to the winner. And if the winner wants to donate it back, that's fine. But I need y'all's help helping me push it.
We can push it.
Can y'all help me push that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're gonna
That's a
give
good
that.
cause.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, people
I-
don't understand the food pantry, the service that it provides in this community.
Right.
And let me tell you, it's heartbreaking to know that we have that many people in our community that come down and that are in need. And we should, as fellow Bradford County,
Absolutely.
be able to help our neighbors and stuff out. I don't care if you like them, don't like them.
It doesn't matter.
But let me tell you, there should be one hungry soul ever in this community.
I agree. So can y'all help me out with that? Y'all just push the show and tell them they can come get a bracket once the teams are set. We're gonna do a men and a women's bracket. So you get $10 a bracket, like I said, $10 a sheet, and the bracket winner gets half, the other half going to the food pantry.
So
Every
we're
penny of it.
going to set out the bracket on the women's team and the men's team.
Yes, sir. Men's tournament and the women's
I'm
tournament.
gonna tell you, lately, the last
I'd
few years,
like to have 200 brackets.
the women's
That's
bracket.
$2,000. I give $1,000 to the food pantry and $1,000 to the winner.
In the last couple of years, the women's basketball tournament in March Madness has been much more exciting.
Yes. Yes, it has. Yes, it has. Yes, it
I'm
has.
playing ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you had a chance to watch the girls, take your time and watch a girls basketball team.
Oh, yeah.
In that bracket, those people are playing the game for love.
I'll tell you, there's going to be some great basketball, and like you said, I don't see there's a clear #1 team in the country as far as the men's side goes, really. But the women's, there's 3 or 4 or 5 teams right there that are right there. So,
Anybody can be Connecticut. I'm good.
yeah, there you go, there you go. Who's this living beside you, Sharon?
This is Lisa Alvarez. Oh, Lisa Alvarez Rodgers. I know this guy.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing.
I've known her forever. We've worked through our whole careers, basically from babies.
Right.
Still babies.
True.
Right.
Yes.
God's been better to her than he has me. But I've been working and serving our community. I mean, she's been in the court services all those years. Myself has been from a young policeman.
Right.
In regards to it, I'm telling you, she's just committed to this is her home. She's like me. We're in this because we love the community we serve.
Right.
It's all about serving people.
So at least tell everybody what you're running for and what you're doing.
Clerk of the Court, Mr. Ray Norman. I actually was hired at the clerk's office in 1983. Mr. Gibb Brown was the clerk at that time, and I continued there almost 15 years working with Mr. Brown. Mr. Norman did. Mr. Brown retired. Mr. Ray Norman came aboard, and I worked in his office about 7 or 8 years. Currently, I'm a child advocate manager with the Guardian Ad Litem program, which serves abused and neglected children
Great
right
organization.
here
Great
in
organization.
Bradford County, and it has enabled me to continue working closely with the court system, and while also serving families and abused and neglected children. Absolutely.
So, you'll be here at the fair all week?
Absolutely.
At least like
Visit my
Cheryl.
booth.
Absolutely.
Yes, come visit my booth and follow me on Facebook, Lisa Alvarez Rodgers from Clerk of the Court in Bradford County. And I'd like to also put in I'm the event lead for Relay for Life
Yes,
this year.
yes.
Our event is on May the 8th down at downtown. Having a 5K this year, so I'd like I'll ask you, please help us push that. And
Absolutely.
everyone and a lot of participants.
She lets me run.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a fun run walk. If you don't run, you can come and walk.
Or roll.
I'm providing the sound for you. Providing the sound for that.
Backwood Boys is going to be providing, I won't say entertainment because they sing, they worship.
Yes,
They'll
they
have
do.
a worship service,
That's
not entertainment.
worship.
Absolutely. So,
They hold
But they're great.
Yes, that's
but
right.
they're great.
They hold church.
Yes, they do.
Absolutely.
Yes,
So
they
come
do.
out and enjoy the Backwood Boys, and the relay teams will have good food to be enjoyed, and just a fun time to raise dollars for the American Cancer Society.
You know, we was out at the Florida Cracker. Yeah, Florida Cracker this
Yes.
Did he tell you what we read?
Yes, he did. Great.
Yeah, how much
Great.
was it, Mitchell?
$842.
That's wonderful.
That's a good look. That's a good
Certainly
look
had a
right
beautiful
there.
day.
That was like
Weather
one of our-
It was.
Yeah.
The wind kicking just a little bit,
Yeah.
but it was okay.
Yeah.
And there was supposed to be a judge there. Showed up a little late. Do you know him? Not well. I'm
I
thinking
didn't-
about you.
one-
You didn't show up at all.
One of the judges didn't show
Yeah,
up
at
at all. He
all.
was running
And the
around.
other one,
He was running
the other
around
one
David
was
Rodgers.
doing something.
We're gonna
I forgot.
let
Do you
him-
know that guy?
I did, and I'll be honest with you, I was at another
Like, no,
event.
YPD.
Well, wasn't YPD, but what actually. And well, I did. I had attended a Martin Luther King extravaganza.
Yes, you did.
On that
Yep.
Saturday, and got tied up with the great people. Let me tell you, the biggest problem was my grandson. He got out there at the Martin Luther King event, and I couldn't get him out of the bounce house. So I finally got him out of the bounce house, back to the bounce house. Then I couldn't get him out of the food. He's like his pop. He likes to eat. So grandkids kind of got their way when it took advantage of Papa.
Yeah.
Took advantage of Papa. But I'm gonna tell y'all, it's you want to ask for a better caring community than Bradford County.
Oh yeah.
These people have always, the citizens have always stepped up no matter what the cost. And people know that. Let me tell you something. They might call us a disadvantaged county when it comes to financial, but you won't find a more loving community. No, a more caring community, or a better place to raise or live your children, to live out a life. As I tell people that don't know me, and I go all over, and I meet my fellow sheriffs, I say, look here, the only gated